This week marks the completion of 5 years since I moved into the property that I am now in. I'm now going into my 6th year, and it's been 9 years, almost 9.5 years, since I moved to the northwest. And I feel like it's gone really fast, and I think that this feels like a good time for me to catch up on my kind of promise to myself, my reason for starting this channel, which was to be more accountable to me, really. And I'm looking and trying to work out if I am actually doing anything, because we're now almost at the end of 4 months into this year, 2023, and I wouldn't say I've made any significant changes. I am running this channel still, and it's actually been just over 5 months since I started this channel, and that's gone ridiculously fast, but I've really enjoyed this. So that's one thing, but that's just a thing. That's not, I don't know that that's an achievement, and I don't know that that helps me with anything else. It does mean that I'm spending a lot less time on other social media, which I'm really bored of. Social media is so boring. I seem to spend all my time on YouTube these days, if I'm doing anything at all. I use Instagram, but I very much dip in and out. I'm not that fussed about it. I have a Facebook business page for my business, but I never use the personal page. It's just... And I left Twitter last year, and that's pretty much all I was using, really. I just can't be bothered. So there's this channel which I'm really enjoying. It's much more creative. I think it's maybe more confident, because whereas before I said, oh, I wouldn't even take a selfie, now I'm like all over the place. I have started the business channel, which is also seems to be doing really well. That's only been going for 5 weeks, but I'm enjoying that, and that's making me do more business related stuff, because I'm having to create lots of I'm doing lots of YouTube shorts, because I want it to be really a product channel. I want it to be somewhere where you can go and see the things that I make moving, so to speak. And I've copied this format from other channels that I've seen that use it, and also have like their own shops online and all that sort of thing. So I still sell on Etsy, but I have now got my own shop up and running through Shopify, and that's ticking along now. It's very early days. I heard the other day that it can take 8 to 12 months for Google to really find you when you set up a new shop, and to regularly promote your items within its pages. So I am way behind on the game at the moment. I should have started this last year, but I didn't, obviously. So here I am, and I'm going to go with the phrase better late than never, because I could still be sitting here going, oh, I really must start that channel. So that is now up and running. I am still working on the issues related to how I ship outside the UK. Massively problematic if you don't want to sell on an e-commerce platform, which is another reason why I've hung on to Etsy, because for the moment that's my only option. But I'm working on that. So I'm doing things. I wouldn't say I've just sat around and done absolutely nothing, and I'm slowly nibbling away at other work things that I need to do, which require more work, like uploading a lot more videos, doing a lot more product videos, product photography, and I'm doing that in snatches because I don't have very good facilities here. So if I want to photograph something or I want to video something, the weather's got to be right because I don't have the lighting. I don't have any professional equipment whatsoever. It's me, a couple of mobile phones, and selfie sticks. There we are. That's me. And I'm sticking to that because we have zero budgets. And I've seen a few things on Instagram recently where small businesses have been basically crying for help because they're floundering. They're drowning in, well, they're drowning in a lack of sales actually, but they're drowning in it because they can't compete against these big, horrible corporate companies that just suck the life out of industry. Companies like Amazon and big high street retailers like Primark. You know, we all talk about buying sustainably, and a lot of the surveys that I now get ask if I am sacrificing buying sustainable products for cheaper products because the cost of living has gone up. And I think anybody whose bottom line is budget will be doing that. I've never bought sustainability over price because I think that retailers are disingenuous. I think there's a lot of greenwashing. I don't believe that most of the claims that particularly places like supermarkets use to say, well, this product's better than this because it's more sustainable, it's fair trade, it's ecological, it's organic. I don't believe a lot of that. And I'm not paying double the price for something based on them telling me that it's better because I don't believe it. So I've always stuck to cheaper than. And why should you have to pay more for something that's sustainable when all companies should be behaving sustainably and ethically and investing in the future of this planet by doing things better and investing in our supply chains by treating farmers better? You know, when the price of veg goes up in the supermarket, don't think for a minute the farmer's getting any of that because they're not. This is all going to, I realise that some of it is probably going to energy prices. I know that's a problem, but a lot of it is feathering nests, it's shareholders, it's CEOs. Never trust a company whose bottom line is their profit margin, because the profit margin will always come first. And that means that workers are not secure, it means that suppliers are not secure, it means that communities are not secure, because if a company suddenly decides it needs to save $500 million 1 year, like Amazon, it just shuts a warehouse down, or it sacks 800 workers, and it doesn't care, because you're just another cog in the mechanism, and it doesn't need you. It really doesn't need you. So it's really sad that these small businesses are flailing and struggling, and that's one of the things that I really liked about when I moved here and then I lost my studio, was actually a blessing in disguise, because I had a spare bedroom, and provided I am still here, my business will always exist, because it's not costing me anything to run apart from online selling fees. So even if I have to go back to work full time or whatever else I have to do, my business can still exist, and it can still sell things, and I can still make stuff. And even if I lost this place, which would probably mean, I don't know, taking out a storage unit, again, that business can still exist, because all the stock I have and the way I work means that I can still produce, I can still have an online presence. So I think my business will always exist. Have I ever considered it as my main source of income? I call it my main source of income because I like to think that I'm self-employed, I'm a business owner, but it's not my main source of income. I have lots of small sources of income which all go into the same pot, and that's how I seesaw, that's how I keep a roof over my head. And yeah, I could go back to work, go back to a soulless office job or whatever else I could find, and maybe that will happen. you have to be open to doing whatever you need to do to keep the quality of life that you want to keep. And my quality of life is reasonably basic, I would say. I don't have any luxuries, but I have my own roof over my head. You know, I'm not living in a bedsit or a house share or some other dreadful place that, you know, eats away at my mental health or my independence. So in many respects I am lucky. So there's that. I'm still here, and that's got to be a good thing. I do still have to get my finances in order. I am very much aware that I am still deluding myself into believing that things will work out okay. And whilst the inroads I'm making into my business are good, they are not a quick fix by any stretch of the imagination. I could easily not see any sales on my personal website this year at all, just because that's how long it takes. And business generally is down. People are being very cautious. There isn't spare money to throw around, so we're all just kind of plodding along. And I think this year is going to be quite up and down. I don't think the economy generally is going to get any better. I think that where we are now is roughly where it will sit all year. I don't really have any more cuts I can make to my finances. I did do a post the other day about how I'm trying not to spend any actual cash on food now. That's my new little challenge, but I think that's provided the survey income keeps coming in. That is doable, and providing the things on cashback apps keep coming through, that's doable. And I'm going to do a post separately as an update on how the survey income is going, because some sites aren't delivering what they did last year. I found new sites to replace them, and the income does seem to be ticking over in that respect. So I think it's worth doing an update on how that's going, mostly because I hope that it's going to be useful to people. Because if you need an extra few bucks in the bank and you have the time, this is the way, or this could be one of the ways to do it. Because it's so accessible. If you have a smartphone, you can download apps and you can open a PayPal account. Then you can do surveys.